I'm going to start this video here in the wintertime of 2018, just a few months after the Kia Stinger had first arrived. And like a lot of people, I was really excited to check it out, and especially here in Northern Ontario in the snow in the dead of winter. And I've got plenty more commentary and footage of that coming for you later in this video, but suffice to say, I really left the Stinger thinking this is the real deal. The sounds, what you feel, what you hear, what you don't feel and hear, and a sense of everything being carefully calibrated off of everything else, including the currently selected drive mode. This car really does pull off the sort of drive you'd expect in something tens of thousands more. And in winter driving, a lot of that fine-tuned feel is even more apparent on good winter rubber like this when the going gets a bit greasy. So fast forward to springtime 2020, and that's leaving everyone itching to get outside and enjoy some fresh air. So summer rubber this time, and on duty here it's the Kia Stinger GT once again in ghost gray, and the onboard thermometer reading a good 35 degrees warmer than the last time we met. But despite the lovely accommodations for the drive and the lovely day for it, the last place that I want to be on a day like this is indoors, literally cooped up on the highway. The cars that I film live in Toronto, and I live in Sudbury, and that means an 8-hour day's worth of highway driving in each car that I show you to get them back home and in front of my cameras. So it's twin-turbo, sports-tuned, dialed in as a flexible and remarkably approachable performance driving experience, and maybe your first performance car, and one that comes with 365 horsepower for you to play with. But as much fun as the revs and the grip and the torque and the boosted V6 engine and the driving manners are, none of that is what I want to enjoy from this car on a day like today, because this is one of those drives where I just want to quickly and comfortably get home as fast as I can so I can go for a hike with my dog. So in this video, what I want to focus on is actually how the Stinger works when you just flick it into comfort mode and set the radar cruise and decompress on a long drive home, with thoughts of grip and speed and power far from mind. Maybe all while giving the Harman Kardon stereo a little workout, and it's a pretty mighty stereo system too. Android Auto gets my Spotify fired up just by plugging in my phone, and then it's everything from Clapton to Rise Against reproduced with bright clarity and plenty of punch. But it's how Stinger feels and sounds with the stereo off that really sets the stage for a lovely long-distance drive. Even beyond the highway speed limit, it's quiet enough for a conversation without raising your voice. Wind and road noise levels are kept nicely under control, as you'd expect in a big-ticket car. And to that, the ride, by way of the suspension and the stiffness of the body, feels very dense and solid. It reminds me of that heavy and sturdy and very planted feel that I expect in a BMW or Audi, and that makes a sturdy and quiet foundation on which to build a driving experience. The ride is stiff and sporty at the core, but with a layer of softness dialed in around the edges. That means it rides like a comfortable sports car. Some athletic swagger is definitely apparent. You know the capability is there at all times, but in this setting, it's a forgiving and comfortable ride overall. And one with a good sense that they sweat the smaller details over the sensations and sounds that are allowed into the cabin and those that are filtered out. And you sit low and deep in that cabin. Rear visibility is a bit limited thanks to the slim glass. It's not the upright and alert seating position nor the big outward visibility of a taller sedan, but there's a cozy and personal feel for four that seems conducive to socializing. And if you're by yourself and you're someone who likes cruising close to the road and feeling like you're seated low and in control, you're going to like the setup. Steering is sharp but heavy. Imagine feeling a little notch on the center of the wheel's travel that you sort of break away from when dialing in a steering input. This helps lock the car into its lane, reduces the need to adjust the car between the lines, and turns in a feel of precision and control that gives you a sense of confidence with very minimal workload. And the safety systems are much the same. Radar cruise, blind spot monitoring, and even collision alert, which you hopefully won't ever need, but it can provide vital extra reaction time in situations where a collision seems likely. Lane keeping alert with assist helps keep the Stinger centered and safe too.
Systems like these work the best when you don't have to think about them, and in order for that to happen, they need to be smooth and subtle and predictable, and that is what you're getting here.
This is going on 2,500 kilometers I've spent in Kia Stinger GTs, and in both testers, I've noted no annoyance from the safety gear. Personally, I prefer to leave the steering entirely to myself, but I leave the lane-keeping beeper on, and the radar cruise never feels startled, it performs consistently, and really I never have to give it any second thought. Again, added confidence, reduced workload. So, pretty relaxing. And the final touch, I think, is the engine. Twin turbo means a flat blob shape to the torque curve, lots of pulling power from really low revs, and unless you just want to hear the sound effects, there's rarely a need to get this 3.3-liter V6 spinning fast enough that you actually hear much from under the hood. So, two benefits. When you're driving gently, the entire powertrain is smooth as glass, and all you hear is the tastefully muted hum from the exhausts out back. Also, a big hearty surge of power is just a light squeeze on the throttle away, often without much need for the 8-speed automatic to even gear down. And from the driver's seat, I will say that as 365 horsepower cars go, this one feels surprisingly potent. So that's big power if you need it, and relative peace and quiet when you don't. Let's go back to wintertime for a moment before we sum this up. Here in the snow, with sport mode on and plenty of those ponies going to use, the Kia Stinger is a real treat to drive. If you're storing this for the winter, you're missing out on half the fun. And with winter tires mounted, it's as frisky or sure-footed in the snow as you like, and that's all up to your right foot and the selected drive mode. It's big and predictable, playful, and keeps a giant pile of torque easily within striking distance at all times. And in sport mode, whatever torque that all-wheel drive system can't put down in the snow gets sent out back to keep those rear wheels spinning for days if that's your style. But as good as it is at the sports car thing, I'd say the long-haul highway drive is even more impressive, not only because the car feels so nicely set up for it, but also for the fact that Stinger's peaceful and relaxing side coexists so nicely with its athletic side.
It's not for everyone. Stinger might be too small for some, too pricey, or too thirsty for others, but I'd say for those after an authentic taste of what the Stinger is slinging, and that is relatively affordable access to a world-class luxury performance drive that you can enjoy any day of the year, you will find this a good return on your investment.
Well, that's about it for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below so you never miss a new upload, and we'll see you in the next video.